welcome to this Talks at Google. Both those of you here in the room and those of you who are tuning in virtually. I'm Vivian Lewitt, Global Head of Artists at Google and YouTube, and I'm really excited for today. Our guest, Benny Blanco. To many needs no introduction, but I will do it anyway. Benny is a Grammy-nominated artist, producer, songwriter, the genius behind his own multi-platinum records that have been streamed more than 11 billion times to date, as well as hits from Ed Sheeran, SZA, Justin Bieber, Rihanna, Katy Perry, Halsey, and Khalid, and others, contributing to hundreds of millions of album sales worldwide. He is an actor on a #1 comedy series on FX and a creator responsible for 2 viral YouTube series with his friend and collaborator, Matty Matheson. Matty and Benny Eat Out America and Stupid Fucking Cooking Show. So if you have not watched them, please tune in. They're hilarious. Really, really great stuff. Benny is a lifelong food devotee who discovered his passion for cooking as a teenager and growing up in North Virginia, commandeering his mom's kitchen to make elaborate sandwiches for his friends. His first cookbook and guide to entertaining, Open Wide, is out now. You all have them on your chairs if you're physically present here. And without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome Benny Blanco.
Oh, wow.
Welcome. Do you see your cookies?
Wow, these are bright. That's crazy. Wow, Jesus. Okay. Hi, guys. Wow, there's so many people. What are you eating? No, I want you to tell me, though. What is it? Eggs. It looks like salad from here. I can't even see anything. There's a salad on it?
Yeah, I put some vegetables.
You did? Wow, maybe you should come and give this talk.
Okay, well, first, I have to tell you how much fun I had reading your book. I mentioned it earlier, but I was kind of laughing out loud at every page. Even some of the names of the recipes, which I'm so curious to know the answers to some of those. But I named this, for all of you here, I've been at YouTube for 13 years, and this is my most fun work adventure yet. So that's the name of this talk for me. All right, so you are known as the most prolific in music creatives, from an artist yourself to a producer of music, a collaborator, and now you've written a cookbook. So can you tell us what inspired you to actually write the book?
You know, everything I do is really, like, not on purpose. I don't know. I feel like I'm just, like, constantly, like, tripping upwards. I don't know. I used to make food. My friend got a George Foreman grill when I was, like, 13, and that was I don't know how old some of you guys are, but for us, that was, like, crack. When that came out, you were like, what the fuck? So I remember going over to let me take this gum out. I remember going over to my friend's house, and we all got stoned before. And I don't know how, but when you're like 13 years old, somehow 35 people can smoke one joint and you get high. But it's like magic. It's like magic. And you're smoking like poop. It's not even weed. You just like get a headache and then you're laughing. So we'd go over there and...
It's that frontal lobe isn't developed.
Yeah, I don't even know what... And I remember, like, calling my friends. I'd be like, don't smoke that joint without me. And you get there, and there's, like, 30 of you, and you're, like, in a closet, and you're, like... And, like, you take that, and then you're high for a day. And, like, your mom or dad, you walk home, and they're like... They always know you're high. Your parents always know you're high. They're like, hey, did you smoke anything? And your eyes look like there's blood coming out of them, and you're like, no, nothing. I took too many Tylenol. So I'd be at my friend's house. We're making these elaborate sandwich quesadilla science experiments. And I remember, like, pulling one out, and I cut it open, gave it to all my friends. And I saw one of my friends, and he looked like he'd been sleeping for, like, 30 days, but he, like, emerged just to get a bite. And he, like, took one bite, and he was just like, oh. And he, like, went to a place, and I was like, wow. because I was already making music at the time. And that's the feeling I would get when I no one, I've been spending the last few days talking to a lot of musicians. I was just at NYU yesterday, but when you make music, okay, or you do anything creative, let's say someone is a journalist, you do anything, you make the thing, you make food, ooh, my phone's ringing. You make the thing, you make food, you make whatever you're making, and then instantly, you're like, I want to share this with a person. Like, I have to call. Like, when I make music, the first thing I do is call up everyone I know until one person answers, and then I play it, and they can barely hear it through the phone. And then I'm just like, I felt that with food, and I felt that I could create an experience for someone, could create a feeling for someone, and it never left my body. And I just love doing stuff like that. Like, I love doing charity events where I'm there cooking the food with my hands, giving it to people. I just love being like of service almost. It's so gratifying. So basically then I started having dinner parties when I was like 18, 19, when I like moved to New York. And I remember at like our first, I was in LA at my first dinner party. I remember it very, very vividly. So I'm there. And I make the best roast chicken you've ever seen. It's golden brown. It's beautiful. It smells delicious. I have all my friends there. We get in. We cut it open, and it's raw. I don't understand it. I have no idea. Still to this day, I cook so much. It's complete.
That happens to me every time I've ever made chicken.
It was completely raw. And the first thing we did, like without thinking, I have no idea how, my friend took the chicken and we threw it out the window into a pool. And I have no idea why. And we ordered pizza. And everyone had the best time. And I realized in that moment, I was like, wow, it's not just about the food. It's about the rap. It's about hanging with your friends. It's about, when the food's great, that's amazing. But it's about having that connection with your friends and creating an experience, an ambiance. And when I decided to make this book, I was like, wow, I have all these great dinner parties at home, and I have, I don't want to go to a fucking club on the weekend. Who wants to do that? I'm too short to be in a club. I'm way too short to be in a club. And I'm way, like, give me 15 minutes with a person and I'll show them how to be my best friend. But in a club, like, I'm short. I'm like the little like gremlin at the end of the rainbow. Like, and then but I want to be like
I have that issue also.
Yeah, you're wearing like 40-inch heels. Yeah. It's insane. No, but what I want to do is I want to be at home with my friends. I want to eat so much food that I can unbutton my pants and lay on a couch with my friends, and we can laugh, and some people can go like in and out of sleep, and we're playing games, and everyone's having their own conversations. And I just wanted to teach people how to create that. Like, also, how the fuck do you kick your friends out when it's time to go to bed? I have a guide of how to kick your friends out so they love you the next day.
This is the whole culture of the dinner party, which I definitely wanted to ask you about, because there's the whole art to who you invite to the dinner party.
Oh, yeah.
And why.
Yeah.
Do they show up late? What happens when they show up late? What happens when it's time for them to leave?
You kill them.
Do they come into the kitchen and cook with you? You kill them. Are you good in the kitchen? Like, do you have a good temperament in the kitchen while you're cooking?
Yeah,
I don't.
Okay. I'll tell you one thing that's going to help you so much. Prep before the dinner.
Well, that's kind of when it all comes into play.
What do you mean? No one's in the kitchen.
Yeah. See, this. I need to have the sous chef, so I don't cook very often.
Okay. And
now we're going to have like the Vivian and Benny therapy.
Do you have
session.
a husband?
Yes, and two children.
Okay.
And so they do all the chopping and the cutting because
So what
takes
do you
me
do?
forever.
You just put it together and look pretty and wear heels.
And then I'm preparing, right? So, but they chop the herbs and stuff. But we have this thing that I didn't know about for a couple of years, and it was every once in a while I would hear one of them yell out red, yellow, or green, and I realized that it was who's in the red zone, like who's in a lot of trouble in the kitchen, who's green and doing things the right way.
Oh wow! And you didn't know this was just a game they would play without you.
Yeah. Until one day, I started yelling about something with the herb chopping.
Are you yelling? Like in the? Are you?
Yeah, I have a terrible temperament in the kitchen.
You're Gordon
That's
Ramsay
why I'm
with high
asking
heels. Like... Okay. Here's what I forgot. I put this gum on top of hot tea, and now it's just like a science experiment, and it's all over my fingers. I hope no one likes this chair. Okay. Okay. I like to prep before, and because then
Before anyone arrives.
before anyone arrives, it's like when you start cooking, you might be nervous, but once you get like into it, give me an onion, let me chop. That's like a fucking Xanax.
You cry when you're
No, it's like
chopping
a
that onion?
Xanax. All I want to do is chop the vegetables because it's like a mundane activity. We're all so busy. We're all looking at this is fucking Google. You're looking at your phone. You're getting 700 emails every second. You put your phone down for a second. You cut something. You look at a recipe. You think of a recipe, and it's just that moment where you can like unplug for even just a few minutes. So I try to prep and I unplug. I turn on my music. I even have QR codes in here to help.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want
Interrupt.
to know what's on your playlist
You
while
do.
you're cooking, and what comes first, the music or the food? Like what inspires which? Like, do you cook certain things when you're listening to certain music?
I couldn't do like 700 playlists on here, but I do like I like to set a scene. So like if I'm making like Italian food, we might have some like old like 60s Italian playing. You know what I mean? I like to really go all in. You know, I might have like a checkered tablecloth and like some, you know what I mean? I just want when people come, my goal is when people come to my house that they don't want to leave. Like they just want to stay there. They feel comfortable. They know they're going to make some new friends. Cause I always like to invite, all walks of life to a party. It's stupid if you invite like one group of friends and you're like, oh, these people already know it. No, I want people to meet people they would never meet anywhere else, And some people are scared to do that with their friends, but I urge you and encourage you to do that with all groups of your friends because a lot of your friends are different. They might have different interests, but if they meet someone else, food is like the perfect lubricant to get people talking. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, it works out.
So that's how you're curating.
Yeah, and just like, there's no, like, everyone's got to leave their ego at the door. Like, you come in, we're eating food, we're having fun. No one cares about what you did, how much you accomplished today, or how much money you made. No one gives a shit. Come in, and you're sitting next to a 3-year-old who has a Parmesan wheel in her front pocket. Like, you know what I mean?
I love that. That. I do try to do that when I have dinner parties also.
What, put a Parmesan wheel in your front pocket? Me too.
In my husband's pocket.
Yeah, and your husband. Is he in the green zone ever or no?
Yeah, he gets into he's almost always in the green now. My
Who's
younger
red?
daughter, she's always red. My younger daughter, she never wants to do anything. She sits in the corner and just sort of
Maybe
makes a
because you're
mess.
yelling at her.
Maybe. No, she's 19 now. She's often in the green.
Oh, okay, good. Now she's green.
Yeah. Okay. Now she's green. So I'm going to go back a minute to like the kind of the comparison of being someone who makes music as an art form and someone who makes food as an art form, because what you do is art. I mean, from the cooking perspective. When you think about your process, are there parallels to the way you create and generate something in music and cooking? Oh
my God, yeah, of course. First of all, I'm the worst baker in the world. Like baking, you have to like follow instruction. No way. I can't do it. Baking is so hard. I can like bake like 3 things, but baking is next to impossible. Like for me, I don't have the right mindset for it. Yeah, I'm a creative. I want to like go in and be like, yeah, this needs more salt. Oh, I'm gonna throw in some. I remember when I made the book with my friend Jess, who's incredible. She's a cookbook author herself, and she worked for Martha Stewart for like 15 years, and she would always, I'd be like, do we really need measuring cups? And she was like, yeah, how the fuck are people gonna make that? Because I'm always like, throw this in, put a little tea in, throw this gum in, like what? And yeah, I call it, in music, I call it like making a mess. I said like this year I'm just gonna make a mess. I'm just gonna do all the things I wanna do, try to throw everything I can at the wall and see what sticks. And sometimes nothing sticks. Sometimes some stuff sticks. And
a lot of things have stuck.
But like, I don't know. I always feel like I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of failing. I'm not afraid of making myself look stupid because no one cares. No one gives a shit. Nobody, like, you know what I mean? It's like when you're a kid and you have like a pimple on your nose and you're like, everyone's gonna make fun of me. It's cool. No, they aren't. Everyone's looking at the own pimple on their nose. Yeah. Nobody's staring. And if they do, they look at you for a second and you're like, okay, you're an asshole. But like, no, it's real. Like, I don't know. For me, I'm always just like, well, I'm gonna try this, and if nobody likes it, I'm gonna get up and do it again. Like I'll push so hard at something, and then if it fails, like I have amnesia. The next day, I'm like, okay, what are we doing now? You know, and because it doesn't matter. Like you think, you know, people walk up to me in the street and they're like, you never miss, man. You make this thing, you did this thing. Nobody's like, hey, man, on April 30th, that thing you put out didn't really gain traction. They're not like that. You know, you look at Michael Jordan, you're like, wow, this guy, nobody's remembering the shots he missed. You remember him dunking with his tongue out. I know, I'm serious. He took the most shots ever in the NBA, you know? And it's not about that, because if you're gonna win if you just keep going at it and keep pushing at it, and you're gonna fail. Like everyone in here, you're failures. For sure. I am. I fail every day. But sometimes I succeed. And, you know, we tend to harp on the failures and just sit there and we beat ourselves up about it. And that's natural. But if we keep going, like, we're going to get somewhere for sure. Like, I started out thinking I was going to be the biggest rapper in the world. That was like, I am not the biggest rapper in the world. But, like, I did some pretty cool shit in music. So it's like you try something and you're going to end a little bit off the mark, probably. Unless you're just like a pure genius, but I'm an idiot. So I landed a little bit off the mark to the right or left. And then you just keep doing it. And then I never say, I always, you know, you can get really complacent and stuff. And I remember in my career one time when I was like, I made all these songs for all these people. And I was sitting with Ed Sheeran, okay? We were on tour. And we had just finished, like a year before, we had finished his Divide album, and it was this huge album. It sold like 30 million copies. I remember we were like sitting on tour, and we were watching that documentary, The Defiant Ones, and
the Jimmy Dre.
Yeah, the Jimmy one and Dr. Dre. And I remember we finished it. We were backstage, and he was like, man, what the fuck are we doing with our lives? And I was like, and literally, it was like a movie. It was literally like a high school movie. The second he said lives, a man comes in and he was like, all right, you're on in 1 minute. And then he like runs out, and he's actually playing a sold out stadium for 80,000 people. And 3 seconds ago, he said, what are we doing with our lives? And I'm sitting in the back, and there's a picture of this. I have no idea who took this picture of me because it haunts me. A picture of me with like a teddy bear as tall as me, so it was 2 feet tall, and I'm like leaning against it, and I was just saying in my head, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And I remember walking backstage and calling my managers up and saying, you know, I'm not inspired right now. I've been producing so much for these people, and yeah, like I'm having like great success, but I'm not feeling what I want to feel. Like, I feel it. I don't want to use the word jaded, because it wasn't jaded. It was like, I'm just not getting that same feeling, and I want to get that feeling again. So then I decided to become an artist. So I like moved the goalpost, and what I'm doing is like, I always try to move the goalpost a little bit. Like when one of my best friends was making a TV show, and I was helping him come up with ideas and write it, and then he was like, hey, we can't find anyone to play you. You want to come do a screen test? And I was like, what's a screen test? And he was like, just come in. And I was like, okay. And then I come in, and he's like, hey, you're in the show. And I was like, what? No. I was like, I don't want
to play yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like a, I guess a slightly exaggerated version of myself. But yeah, and I always will try to like do things. I remember one year, I don't know if anyone, do you guys know what the Pro Tools, the program at all? Okay. So when I first started making music, I was like so bad at computers and didn't know how things worked. So there's like, you guys know what like beats per minute is and stuff. Okay. So there's like a grid that's like a default grid on Pro Tools, and it's 120 beats per minute. So it's like, and I didn't know how to change that. So every one of my songs for the first like 5 years of my career, I swear to God, if you look back, every song I ever did was 120 beats per minute. Every single song, like the first like 5 years. And then when I figured out like that you could change that, I was like, okay. And I always try to like put like a weird goal for the year. I was like, okay, I'm only gonna make songs in 80 now. And then like, I remember when we were doing Ed Sheeran's album, I was like, I have to have a big song that doesn't have a snare drum in it. And I'll always like come up, you know, when we were making, you know, Justin Bieber, Love Yourself, like I was like, I want to make songs that don't have, because at that time there weren't really songs a lot on the radio that didn't have like drums in them or like full production. So I was like, I want to strip songs back, because if people are listening to the radio, like they need a fucking break every once in a while, you know?
Well, when you're cooking then, do you do something similar? So if you're
course.
always making chicken, do you switch it up and make
make what?
a steak?
Sometimes
you have a great steak recipe.
Yeah, we got a good one in there. Yeah, I always want to just like keep myself on my toes, because that's how you learn. And you might jump into something that seems a little scary, but it'll be chill.
I think that's a great point. There's so much to be said for failure, making mistakes, and learning from them. It's kind of the only way that you grow and achieve anything. So I love one of the things on the front cover of your book, when in your preface, you're opening the internal front cover. I do love all the photographs, including the one on the front cover. But you reference the experiences that people on a personal level have at a dinner party. The laugh until you cry kind of thing, the crying, the connection. In very general terms, are there any moments that stand out for you? Any pivotal experiences that you would be open to sharing with the room?
What, just like at a dinner party?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so many. I you know, some people are just like waiting to be opened up. You know, it's like when you're making music. So we have like the funnest job, but it's the hardest job because you never think about it. I have to go into a studio with someone. Okay. I have to instantly become the greatest therapist in the world, okay?
You were just my therapist for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, so you just wait. You want to make a song now? Okay, so I have to get in there. I have to make this person my friend very quickly. Then I have to say, hey, what's your deepest, darkest secret that we can tell the entire world? And then I have to get them to tell me that deep, dark secret. And then I have to convince them to put it out to the world all in like 4 hours, with all of us having the highest functioning ADD possible. But all of us being unmedicated. And no, but it's like a dinner party is like the same. You'll be sitting there and someone might want to get something off their chest, but you might not know, and something that you might say, I can't tell you how many times like someone's like cried or like had like a revelation and then like started a company after, or like two people have met and then started making like the best music, or like somebody who's like a scientist met like an author and then like they connected, you know, there's so many things that have happened like that I can't even pinpoint one. And like, I think if you guys start having, I mean, I'm sure you guys have dinner parties, but if you, you know, every time you do, like something really cool happens at yours, whether it's bringing like your friends like closer together, or like finding out two people like hate each other. Like that's happened at a dinner party where I've been like, oh my God, I like didn't know that these people like kind of were beefing. And now it's like, so, or someone said something at the dinner and you're like, oh yeah, y'all hate each other. But then sometimes some people make up at a dinner party, and you're balancing so many different things.
Yeah.
It's like a balancing act. You got to balance like 4 people in red light, green light. Like imagine if you had like 25 there.
Yeah, no, the guests don't ever get to cook.
No guest cooking?
No guest
cooking. Okay. There's so many rules at your house.
Those are kind of the only rules. The only rules are
No
when
guest cooking.
No,
No, does everyone have to wear heels when they come in?
No, they don't have to take their shoes off either.
Yeah, I'm a no shoes.
Are you a no shoes person
I'm a
in the
no
house?
shoes. I mean, I'm a no shoes usually policy. I mean, I walked. I was wearing like these like really uncomfortable shoes the other day, and I was at like a dinner, and I took them off, and I don't even know where they went. And then I just like walked the streets with no shoes on. I had socks on, and my mom. And as I was walking down, my mom was like, "Don't step on any nails." And my mom always thinks that there could be like
if I were with
needles
you,
or nails.
there would have been really big problems.
Really?
Yeah, that'd be hard for me to watch you do that. I've become in my later years a little bit of a germaphobe.
Yeah. Sometimes my mom can be like that too. You know, she still won't share a drink with me. 36 years in, I'll say, "Oh, you want a sip?" She goes, "No, I'll get mine." Or she'll lift the little straw thing and she drinks it out of the thing. I'm like, I came out of you, Mom. Like that's crazy.
I kind of look at my kids a little sideways.
Do you do that too?
I do it, but I do look at them a little sideways when they ask me.
Oh my God, I would if my mom put food on her toes, I'd pick it up. But I don't care. I'm not one of those type of people. I'm not super germaphobe. You're germaphobe?
It's gotten worse over the years. I used
Really?
to not be at all. Like that's why I have a you don't have to take your shoes off policy in my house, because I always felt like it's better to have the germs, because then you develop the immunity that you need to combat
No, I just
them.
think it looks nasty. Like people, like I don't care about the germs. I don't care what someone's tracking in. I'm just like, ugh. Like I don't know. I've always been like that. But I was always like that as a kid. I don't know. I'm like a little OCD. I like them all like stacked up at the front. I'm like the type of person. I like organize everything in my fridge.
Me too.
In a crazy.
In my cabinets also.
No, mine's like
everything lined up.
Yeah, everything's lined up. It's lined up by like shapes, sizes, alphabet. I can tell if anyone's been in my bathroom by like if they've moved. Like everything I have is.
And your closet, right?
Oh yeah, my closet's crazy.
Imagine having two daughters and what happens.
Yeah, I'd have a red light, green light thing
You'd have
too.
red light, green light about the closet.
Yeah, I understand now.
All right, let's go to some of your collaborators, because you have, and you used the word fun a little while ago. And when I watch your shows and when I listen to your music, whenever I see you, you just exude positive energy, and your smile is infectious, and it's awesome. And I would not have red light, green light policy with you in the kitchen. But I would love to hear about your collaborators that you work with in the kitchen, how you build and how you together build out these recipes.
Oh my God. Okay. When I first started getting successful at all, like most people are like, oh my God, like I'm going to use this to like get like concert tickets and drug. My like first thing was just like, wow, I need to meet every chef, go to every restaurant in the world. I was like, whatever success I have to use to like meet these, because those are my idols. Like meeting, I always loved food so much. So, meeting some of these people has been like such a dream, and it's cool because like they love what I do and I love what they do, and I'm always just trying to learn. Whatever room I'm in, I'm trying to learn, whatever the medium is. Like anyone, like, I don't know. I'm always, leave your ego at the door. Like, everyone's the same. Like, no one's shit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not shit. They're not shit. No one. I might know a few things. Someone here, every single person in here could teach me something I don't know. And it's so fun to be able to, walk in the room and like, just be like, standing across from like someone I like envy their like food taste, and I can just learn things from. And I didn't know that you could fully sous vide a steak while in a jacuzzi. Like you can. It works. It works. You does do people know what sous vide is?
No, what is that?
Okay.
Tell us.
Wow, that's a dog.
I don't. Other people
Oh
here
my
may.
God, that just came out of nowhere. What's that dog's name? Eleanor. Is that French bulldog?
French bulldog, Boston Terrier.
Oh my God, I have a Frenchie.
Me too.
You do?
Yeah.
What's your Frenchie's name?
Wilhelmina.
Wilhelmina, how old?
She's 8.
Oh wow.
Yours?
I have one named Larry, and that. Why does everyone always laugh when I say that? I have a dog named Larry.
I think because of Larry David.
Yeah, and then I have another dog that's an English bulldog named Pudding.
I think I met that one.
Yeah, Pudding is she's like melting into the earth at all times. Like her body, she's like barely like there's barely bones in her. She's like made of jello, and like her tongue has never been inside of her mouth. And then I used to have another one named Disco, but she passed away. It's okay. She died a while ago.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. It's crazy. I never knew. I never Disco was my first dog. I had her for like 14 years. This is crazy. We're talking about this in the Google Talk. But like losing an animal is insane. It's I've lost friends. Nothing hurts more than losing an animal. No, I'm serious.
No.
It hurts. It hurts so much. I think it's because they're always perfect. Like even if they're bad, they're like no one's ever stayed mad at like an animal for more than like 15 seconds. Like it's impossible. Like you'll be so mad for 15 seconds. Like imagine if that was like your real life, like with your husband or something. Like you're just mad for like 12 seconds and you're like, oh my God, you're so
Right,
cute.
you're so cute. That's
no,
that's
you're
what happens.
No,
They
yeah,
can
like
do
people
no
are
wrong.
mad at their husband for like years of resentment building up, and they're just like, and then it's just like, or like your wife, or like people pick a time like 30 years later, and they're like, you didn't do the fucking dish it. Like you can't do it to an animal. You can't. They're better than all of us.
No, I know. Okay.
Are you allowed to? You're allowed to bring animals here, huh?
Yeah, she comes in often.
Wow.
I can't bring my Frenchie here.
Why?
She's runs around. She gets very excited.
Everything's
and runs
chaotic
too
in your
much. It's
house,
very
huh?
chaotic.
It's just chaos in your house. Wait, does anyone
Okay.
else have an animal? I gotta ask one more.
Okay,
question.
go ahead and
You
then
wait.
back to the zoo.
Does anyone else have an animal in here right now? All right. Okay. Cool. Wow, you're the only one. All right. Apparently, you guys are terrible people. Well, hello. It's a very well behaved dog.
Yeah, she's like asleep.
Yeah. Her eyes are open, but I could tell they're not. Okay.
Okay, the sous of the steak in the hot
Oh yeah,
tub.
sous vide. Okay, so basically, a sous vide is basically like a bath of water, and you put something in like a plastic type device, like it's kind of like a bag, and you submerge it in water, and it's fully submerged. And you have a constant cooking temperature around the whole thing. So water makes it so it's constant, because when you're doing it in like the oven, like it might be a little uneven somewhere on a grill. This ensures that it's the exact same temperature the entire time of cooking. So a jacuzzi can also work like that, because if you're cooking like a steak, you're keeping it at like in a sous vide at like 115 or something. So you just pop it down to the 104, and then basically you take whatever you're sous videing out of the bag, and then you like sear it off at the end. So we had a dinner party. You're gonna love this. Me and my friend Matty Matheson, we had a dinner party, and we had to cook so many steaks. There were so many people. We were serving like 25, 30, 40. It was so many people, and he was just like, why don't we just put them all in the jacuzzi, and we stay in the jacuzzi all day, and then we get out and we cook. So we cooked everything, and the meal, everyone's like, this is so delicious. And then we were just like, hey, isn't it crazy that we cooked all of this in the jacuzzi together just all day? We fully told everyone after they were finishing their steak that we cooked it in the jacuzzi naked.
How did they react?
I think people thought we were joking, and then Maddie was like, "No, seriously!" And everyone, I think they were disgusted, also amazed, also, it was the faces were moving through all sorts of different series.
Wait, what kind of bag do you put the steak in that doesn't
They're kind of like.
So there's a special bag.
Yeah. They're like non-toxic. I mean, I'm sure they're giving us cancer in another way, but like they're like supposedly these like non-toxic, like BPA free.
That can withstand the heat.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
This isn't. I want to try this.
Yeah. Well, you have to get. There's like a few little devices. You have to get this like probe that goes. You don't need it. You already have enough chaos at home. You don't need to throw a sous vide in there.
Okay, we'll leave that out. So I was at Stagecoach last week, and I watched Guy Fieri. You guys probably know, he does these barbecue demo sessions, and he had Diplo up there with him, and legendary Clint Black was up there with him cooking, and they made this, I don't know, it must have been almost 20 feet long brioche sandwich filled with macaroni and cheese, chunks of turkey, and I don't know, they must have used 4 or 5 bottles of different kinds of sauces that they put on the top of it, and then, cut it up and served it to everybody.
Yes.
It was crazy to me because in the kitchen, I'm like delicate, and this was like messy. And
yeah.
So what's the craziest thing you've ever made in the kitchen?
The craziest thing? I just said I sous vide a steak with my
no,
friends naked.
but like something people wouldn't expect to be eating.
I don't think you'd be expecting. One time.
Like combinations of things.
Does my mic still work? It does. You can hear. Hello. Okay. One time we did. I was with Maddie. And all of them happened with Maddie, of course. And we made he was like, I want to make the biggest plate of spaghetti and meatballs ever. He's like, but I want to make one noodle that's like the longest noodle and one giant meatball. It was so hard to do, by the way. Like making a giant meatball and making it stay together. The meatball was, I think it was 22 pounds or something.
What? How did you do that? What did you put it in?
We had to first hold it in like a ramekin and bake part of it, then move it a little bit because you had to create like a seal. It was so stupid. It was very funny though. We did that. One time I actually made the biggest s'mores ever. We made, it was like,
it's yummy.
It was like for a video. Yeah, we made a s'more, and then we found out we were like just short of the biggest one. We wanted to get the Guinness Book of World Records, but we found out we were like 4 inches short. I just tell everyone it's the biggest one because no one knows. You're not looking that up. That also that happened to me. I made the biggest bed ever one time for a music video, and we were like,
what do you mean, like a bed that one sleeps in?
Yeah. We made it was 80 feet wide and 100 feet long, and it was a real bed, and we were like 6 inches short. And it was like, that one I definitely tell people we made the longest bed ever because it's ridiculous. Like being that, you just tell everyone, right? You just lie, right? I should lie. Should I lie?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll lie.
It's not, you were close.
Or you say like, we were almost the biggest bed.
Right.
Yeah.
You were 1 inch shy.
Yeah, I can't lie. It was maybe the second biggest s'mores, and I know it was the second biggest bed. I'm not sure if it's the second. It might have been the third biggest s'mores. But you know what I mean.
So for the people who are, I'm a New Yorker.
Okay.
I work really long hours, and it's music business, So, we used to be out every night. We're out on occasional nights now. Pre-internet days, remember you had to go out to see music in clubs to figure out what an artist could do. What is your advice for what are the things you should have in your kitchen, and your advice for people who are not day-to-day chefs, so you could go home and whip up a meal and not have to order in?
Okay. One thing I always do is I'll always have a bunch of stuff halfway made in the freezer. So it's like, oh, I'll like prep like a shitload of meatballs or something and then just like put them in the freezer so they're just ready whenever I need to. And I'm like, pop it out. Or like I throw like get together like, or like I'll make things that can freeze very well and like individually wrap them. Like I'll make a lasagna and then I'll like freeze a little. Like for me, everything is like plug and play because my life is fucking crazy and I get to cook. Yeah, I can cook crazy like every once in a while, but a lot of times I'm eating like, it's like, oh, I got 10 minutes. And I try to cook almost every meal I eat, like, because I really want to know what's going into everything. And you don't have to make like the craziest meal. Like, make a piece of fish, make some vegetables, steam some stuff. Like you'd be amazed at how quickly you can put a great meal together because you're ordering something on Postmates. It's taking 30 minutes. And then by the time it gets to you, like, it's like, even if it's delicious, it's cold. It's like not, or it's like lukewarm and then it accidentally steamed too much because it was in a thing. So I always try to make something and exactly what's going in your food. Like sometimes like, I'll eat out and listen, I just burped. I had breakfast out today and I have no idea what they put in it and it gives me gas. And it's like, and I don't know. I just like the feeling of doing that. And I have like a garden. And what I try to do is like, I try to go to the farmer's market every week. And then then the food cooks itself. Like, are you kidding? If you get good ingredients, you don't even have to be that good at cooking. Yeah. You're just like putting together, okay, you just got you got like the best carrots in the world. Put some olive oil and salt and pepper on them and roast them. You're a genius. Like, like it's very, people get caught up in like trying to make, me included, like I'll like look in this meal and I'm like, oh, I'm going to make this like fermented cabbage out of chocolate that takes 6 days. No, just like get some really good ingredients, put them together, make a delicious salad, make a good sandwich, and you'll start to feel how much that makes a difference, not only in like your health, but like in your mindset, because like you're making something, you completed something tangible. Like so much of our life is like we're not completing anything. It's just like a list that just keeps going on forever. Like I make a to-do list and I never get through the whole thing, and it's just like it's just like, and this thing, you're like, I made this, it's done. And now it goes into my stomach, and it's doing a job, and it's like a perfect cycle. And I think it does something to your psyche.
I love that. I also love what you said earlier about how meditative it can be.
Yes,
you put your phone down, you're not looking at your screen.
Yeah,
and you're focused on something else. That when I think about music and why I love music and why people love music, there's a couple things that come to mind, and one of them is the way it makes you feel, and also the way it brings community and brings people together. And your music transcends every territory line and boundary globally. It reaches millions and millions of people. To me, when I look at your recipes in this book is kind of the manifestation of the way you can impact people in the way your music impacts people. Because when you're cooking, people just come to the dinner party and they have their meal and they have their experiences and they take their memories away. Mm-hmm. But to me, this is like the long-lasting version of those memories. But how do you see that, like music impact compared to the impact of food?
No, that's exactly what because when you make music, no matter what, everything is stolen on some level. Like it just is. It's like there's only a certain amount of chords, there's only a certain amount of ingredients, and the best part about making music, making food, is the thing you're creating is all different pieces that you've pulled from something. Like I guarantee, like if you're making like your mom's like great like chocolate chip cake recipe or whatever, she got it from someone else who got it from someone else who taught them how to do this. And just by virtue, it's like you might haven't, like when you're making a song, you might like listen to like a Bob Dylan song and you're like, oh my God, like I want to do something in this vibe. And then because if you're a creative person, by the time you get to the end, it's so far away from what it once was, but it's your own creation of something. And I think this book, you know, I talk about it. This book is a handbook. It's not like guidelines. So it's, you might see this and be like, oh, that's cool. I want to do this instead. Or, and it's also like when I made this, I was having these experiences at home that were so fulfilling and so fun. And I was like, how do I show someone how to do this really quickly and encourage them to do it? Because it is so much better than like going out and sitting in like a loud ass shit where you're not controlling. Like you don't control if like the group next to you is like a bunch of like annoying like frat dudes like taking
or loud talking at the table.
Yeah, or like, yeah, I want to be loud talking at the table, not them.
Their own table.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, history. That's real. Like my mom's matzo ball soup was my father's mother's matzo ball soup from Russia.
Yeah, and she stole it from someone else
and
too.
She definitely
of course,
stole it from
of course.
Else. Okay, I'm gonna ask some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Well, I asked 2 of them already. Okay.
Yes.
Halva ice cream.
Yeah.
Where did that recipe come from?
Oh my God, Adina Sussman. She's incredible. There are recipes from people like that are friends of mine and people that, you know, I love. And, you know, Adina is an incredible chef. And I was like, I want something, because I actually don't have the craziest sweet tooth, and I don't like desserts that are like too sweet. And I was like, I want something cool. I want something different. I want something interesting. And then, wow, this is not a rapid fire answer. Okay, halva ice cream. It's great. Next one.
Okay. Have you ever worked in a restaurant?
Yeah, I actually have done a few different things, like just like worked the line for a few days. Actually, my manager let me, his like cousin or something owned a restaurant, and he let me go in for like a day or 2, and I got to do it there. And I've done it with other friends, and I've done it with Matty at his restaurants, and it's like, yeah, I always love that. And I also have a charity where we cook meals for people, and so we're running the line doing like, you know, 200 meals a day.
That's amazing. Would you ever open your own restaurant?
In time.
Are you going to do a guest appearance on The Bear?
In time.
Where is your favorite place to eat a cheeseburger?
Where?
Where?
No, where? In New York?
Anywhere.
Oh, there's so many good ones. You know which one's really? Red Hook Tavern has like an insane. Oh wow, Red Hook Tavern has a crazy burger. I like all types of burgers. I do like a smash burger as well. Like Gotham has a really good smash burger.
Gotham Bar and Grill.
Yeah, Gotham Burger is a pretty good smash.
On 12th Street.
What?
On 12th Street?
No. Gotham Street Burger. Oh, did you say
I don't know
different?
Gotham Street Burger.
It's good. And then like all the old school ones like J.G. Mellon, Corner Bistro, like although I like Raoul's Burger, I like Minetta Tavern. Yeah, I like I like Shake Shack too. I like them. I like it.
You like the burger?
I like a burger. I also don't eat them a ton, but I like them.
And then there was sweet or savory, but I think you kind of answered that already.
I think I'm savory. Like for sweet, I can like do like, I love like one bite of a dessert. Some people can eat like the whole. I'm like one bite and I'm like,
I don't eat dessert. Do you make food for Larry?
This sounds bougie. My dog walker makes the most delicious meals for them. I keep telling her to open up a dog food. Like they look better than what I eat. They're insane. They're like, and the prep and the plating is so good. And there's like apple slices around the sides and pasta and chicken. It's beautiful, and like steamed vegetables. Sometimes I like go by and I'm like, man,
that's
should
wild.
I just take a bite?
My friend, she can eat only venison.
Oh yeah.
She's super sensitive.
Yeah, when you cook the real food for them though, when you figure out what they like my dogs really like sweet potatoes and
she's had
celery.
She has like sweet potato, but she throws up a lot.
Oh wow.
Okay, finally, this is the end of our portion of this.
Okay.
Then we can go to the Q&A.
We have 15 seconds for Q&A.
How do you end the dinner party?
Oh, how do you end it? Okay, my 2 favorite ways. One of them, I sit on a couch and I go like this, and then like I just lean back and I close my eyes, and then I don't open them until I stop hearing voices.
You fake sleep.
Yeah, okay, so that, and then it becomes real. Then, okay, the number one way to kick anybody out of your house, it works 100% of the time, is I get up and I say, hey, does anyone want to help me clean? And then everybody leaves. I leave. I go, when they say, I'm like, does anyone want to help me clean? And I just walk out of my house. Yeah, those are like my two surefires.
I have done the accidental fall asleep at my dinner party.
Yeah, yeah.
I wake up, everyone's gone.
Yeah, it's the best.
Okay, so I think we have a couple people for Q&A.
I see him already.
Go for it.
Is this on?
Yeah, it's on.
Hey, how's it going, Benny?
How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for coming and congrats on the book.
Thank you.
I'm Enrique. I'm an engineer here. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned already a little bit, but like, do you have any cooks or any chefs that you follow for new recipes or any YouTube channels that you recommend?
Oh, yeah. oh my God, I love so many people. Okay, this one is more for if I'm ever feeling anxious, stressed, down. This is a surefire way to make yourself just like feel like so good. There's these two chefs that are incredible. If I lived in the same country as them, I would see them. It's called Get Down with Sean and Marley, and they're two of the sweetest boys. They both have Down syndrome, and they cook like the best meals and have the sweetest. It literally gets me through anything I'm ever feeling. If I'm ever stressed, like I watch, and they couldn't be sweeter people. Like if I wish I lived in the same place as them. I watch them every single day. That's one. And then another person I watch. If I really want to laugh and also have like amazing food, Matty's so good on social media and he cooks incredibly. And then like there's some like there's this one lady that makes I don't know what her exact page is, but she makes the best like home cooking style Mexican food that's just like perfect for like every recipe I instantly want to eat. Like it's just I could go on, I could give you 40 people. I'm gonna find it and I'll give it to you after. But I can give you a whole list. I have like that's all I watch. When I go to my explore page, it's so funny. Like my friends will just be like fighting and like guns and like girls. Mine is only food and then it's like 3 dogs. It's just like that. That's my entire explore page. But yeah, I'll give you some extra ones. Okay, who else? Oh wow, right there.
We have Katen.
Hi.
First of all, thank you for writing Circus, a personal fave of mine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, very important.
Hi.
My question is a little less serious though. If you had to eat a food every single day for a year, every meal, what would it be?
Like a type of
thing.
food, or just one thing, like
One
a
dish,
coconut,
one
like
dish,
a
it's
a
breakfast,
dish.
It's lunch, it's dinner.
Oh, a dish.
Mm-hmm.
I really love congee a lot. That's like that. Well, I'm trying to think of something you could eat like every day in so many different forms because you can make it like savory, you can make it sweet. Maybe congee or like a some sort of like chirashi bowl or something like a sushi bowl or something. If I had to eat it every day,
Yeah, no,
and
it's
still not
weird
die from like yeah. I think maybe that's mine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
You're running.
So you would consider not only what tastes good, but how you maintain your health.
Yeah, I got it.
Cool. We had a few more questions that came in from people not in the room.
Oh, her hand is raised. Oh, you just want to raise your hand and say you have a meeting to go to?
Yeah, thank you for coming. I have to go.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna say, I'm also a fellow Virginian. I wanted to ask if
Where?
you, Richmond. But
Oh, okay.
I lived in the DMV area.
Yo, Richmond, there's one of the best. My friend opened a bakery there.
Oh.
It's so good. What's Evram's bakery called? It's called like, what's the bakery that's the best? It's like Rosa, Fabrosa or whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
I'll have to check
Okay.
it out. No. I will check it out. I promise. I was
Get
gonna
us an email. We'll
ask-
send it out to the group.
Yes, please send it out. I was going to ask if you pull inspiration from cuisines of the South, if you consider Virginia to be the South or like the general DMV area.
Yeah, well, you know, I was so lucky because my mom, really, she's also here today.
Oh,
She's right there with the
Hi,
little
Mom.
beret on.
Thanks for coming.
She was always introducing me to so many different types of cuisines. So I feel like when everyone was eating like just like steak and potato, we were always eating, Indian food or Middle Eastern food or like El Salvadorian food. Like and I think that's what like gave it to me right away, because my mom's like, she loves like the little Thai hole in the wall spots. And for me, it's, I think it's definitely put like a stamp on like the way I see food. And yes, I definitely pull from the South a lot, from like, I love comfort food, and I love just like, I don't know. I think Virginia has incredible food. And the DMV area and like with like crab cakes and all, like there's so much good shit out there. I mean, there's so much good shit everywhere. But yes, I pull from the South.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll do one from we have people submit some questions that are not here in the room. So I'll pull one from here from Nakia. You have such an amazing career, Benny. Can you speak to what it's been like pursuing multiple career passions, such as your thriving music career and now you launching your professional cookbook? What advice would you give for juggling it all?
It's cool because you like when you get tired of music, you're like, oh, I guess I'll write a recipe. When you get tired of that, you're like, oh, I guess I'll try to act. Because like I said, I have ADD, so I need like all sorts of things to keep me inspired and busy. And I don't force anything creatively. Like I'm not one of those people that like goes into the studio and is just like, I have to get this done today, or I guess you guys have to do that so much in your work, but I can't do that. I don't know how you guys do it. It's crazy, like to sit down and be like, I have to, no matter what, get this done. Sometimes I just am not inspired. I guess if you aren't inspired, you get fired. But so I guess it's slightly different things for you guys. Well, I hope you're inspired every single day when you sit down.
Okay.
Done. Are you saying done?
One more?
He has one.
Okay.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Is this on? Okay.
Yep.
As a Jewish kid from Long Island, your
Okay.
authenticity, man, is incredible. Also, if you need any stories about Michael Pollock from high school, let me know.
You know Michael?
I went to high school with Michael Pollock.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's got all the... Okay.
Speaking on dogs, I love my 1-year-old puppy.
Yes?
I cry on a weekly basis thinking about him not being here.
That's crazy. But I get it. I get it.
What do I do? I stopped seeing my therapist.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to ask
Okay,
you.
what do? You know, you got to enjoy the time now. Because you know what? When I had a time in my life where when I was younger, when like I first started getting successful, it was like all very overwhelming to me. And I like couldn't leave my house. I thought I was dying. I was like, I really truly lost my mind for like a year. And I remember I stopped like living in fear. Like I was always living in fear of this. And I was like, but I'm going to die, but I'm going to this, but that's going to happen. But like, if you spend your whole life, like every week being like, oh my God, I'm crying at the fact that my dog might die, you're not being present enough with the dog. You have to just like, in everything too. And it's like, we can't just like sit there. Like I find so many people doing this where they're locked, they're afraid of something, so it makes them not enjoy their present thing, or they're thinking so much about the future. I always tell my mom, sometimes my mom is thinking about stuff like that, where she's like, well, what if I get sick? Well, who's going to take? And I'm like, Mom, if you get sick, you're either going to fix you or you're going to die. Like, so you got to live every day, like I wake up every day. This is true facts of what I do. I wake up every day and I try my hardest to make that day like the best day. And sometimes you fall short, but I always try to have that attitude because where I'm like, okay, if everything ended today, like I know I probably wouldn't know because I'd just like die. But like but I'd be like, wow, as I'm fading away, I'd be like, this was a good day, you know? Like and I encourage you to do that with your dog. What's your dog's name?
Franklin.
Oh,
he's really cute. So like that's why I cry. It's just,
yeah.
like,
I
it's
can
too
tell
much.
you're sensitive. What sign are you?
Gemini.
A Gemini. Oh wow, that's a crazy one though.
I'm the most sensitive person. Like I go out to dinner with my family and I just cry thinking how thankful I am to like be with them.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
I shed a tear the other day at dinner too with my family. I was telling everyone how thankful I was. Wow, that's crazy. Gemini's the crazy one, right?
Yeah, two seconds.
Oh yeah. I'm
All right.
Pisces.
What sign are you?
Oh, Pisces.
Okay. What is
What
that? What month is that?
I think it's like what month? March
Oh,
8th. It's like sensitive, creative. I don't know.
my little one's
I don't-
I'm on the cusp of Taurus and Gemini. My birthday.
My dad's a Taurus.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we're going to wrap. You have been an amazing inspiration for everyone today. I think we can all say we started off our day in the spirit of the way you start off your day by being here with you. So thank you.
Thanks, guys.